They ignored him because he looked harmless. No loud talk, no big claims, no flashy moves. Just quiet, calm, almost invisible. And then one day, he owned the deal, led the project, took the opportunity, and everyone else was left wondering when it happened. Here's the truth most people miss. In many real-world games, the one who looks harmless doesn't lose, he wins everything. Today we're going deep into the hidden power of being underestimated, overlooked, and intentionally harmless on the surface, and how this quiet position can become your biggest strategic advantage. If you like psychology, strategy, and silent power moves like this, take 1 second right now, press like, and subscribe to the channel Playing Possum. Because this channel is built for people who want to win smart, not loud. Most people are trained to look impressive as fast as possible. Show your talent, show your ambition, show your strength. But the moment you look strong, the world reacts to you differently. Guards go up, competition increases, resistance forms. When you look harmless, the opposite happens. Guards drop, doors open, information flows, and that difference alone can change outcomes. Think about how people behave around someone they see as a threat. They measure their words, they hide their methods, they protect their position. Now think about how they behave around someone they think is not dangerous. They relax, they overshare, they delay defense, they underestimate timing. That relaxed behavior is not kindness, it's opportunity for the harmless-looking strategist. Being harmless is not about being weak, it's about being non-threatening in appearance while being highly capable in preparation. It's controlled perception. Smart operators understand that perception often matters before performance. If people misread your level, they misplay their moves. And when they misplay, you gain advantage without force. There's a pattern you've seen many times. The loud performer gets attention early, but pressure immediately follows. Expectations rise fast. Every mistake becomes visible. Every delay gets questioned. Meanwhile, the quiet contributor gets space. Space to learn systems. Space to test ideas. Space to build skill without a spotlight. That space compounds into real power. Harmless buys you time, and time builds mastery. In competitive environments, attention is not always an asset. Often it's a tax. The more visible you are, the more you are challenged. The more challenged, the more energy you spend defending instead of building. The harmless player spends less time defending and more time improving. Over months and years, that difference becomes massive. This is why many elite strategists keep a low profile early. They don't rush to brand themselves as experts. They don't announce every plan. They don't display every skill. They stay underestimated on purpose. Underestimation is a shield that protects early growth. There is also a strong psychological trigger here. Humans categorize quickly. Once someone labels you as not a threat, they stop deeply analyzing your moves. Your actions pass through a softer filter. You can explore, connect, and position without triggering alarms. That is strategic freedom. And freedom of movement is one of the biggest advantages in any system. Look at negotiations. The person who looks aggressive gets negotiated against aggressively. The person who looks calm and harmless often gets offered more information and better terms. Why? Because the other side doesn't feel danger. Urgency drops. Defenses soften. Smart negotiators sometimes act less powerful than they are just to keep the other side open and talkative. Silence plus harmlessness makes people reveal their real numbers, real limits, and real fears. Another benefit of appearing harmless is reduced envy. Visible strength triggers comparison. Comparison triggers insecurity. Insecurity triggers subtle sabotage. Not always obvious, but real. Delayed replies. Withheld support. Quiet opposition. When you look harmless, envy sleeps. You grow without friction. Smooth paths beat dramatic paths over the long run. Socially, harmless behavior builds trust faster than dominant behavior. People feel safer around listeners than performers. When you ask more than you declare, people open up. When they open up, they share insight. Insight is leverage. The one who understands people best often leads outcomes best. Harmless on the outside often means observant on the inside. Observation beats exhibition. There's also a performance curve most people misunderstand. Early praise slows growth. Early struggle accelerates it. When you are treated like a beginner, you are allowed to learn like a beginner. When you are treated like an expert too soon, you are expected to perform without learning room. Harmless positioning keeps your learning window open longer. Longer learning windows create deeper skill. Deeper skill wins bigger games. Think about how magicians work. They distract attention away from the real move. The hand that looks inactive is often doing the important work. In strategy, harmlessness is misdirection. Focus goes elsewhere while progress happens quietly. By the time attention returns, the result is already locked in. This is not deception, it's pacing visibility. You're not lying about your ability, you're choosing when to display it. Timing multiplies impact. There is also emotional power in harmlessness. When you don't need to prove yourself every minute, you stay calmer. Calm people think better. Better thinking creates better decisions. Loud ego creates rushed decisions. Rushed decisions create expensive mistakes. Harmless posture reduces ego pressure. Reduced ego pressure improves judgment. Another layer is conflict control. When someone tries to provoke you, and you respond softly instead of strongly, tension often dies. Many conflicts survive on reaction energy. Remove the reaction, the conflict collapses. Harmless responses are often conflict extinguishers. You save energy for meaningful battles instead of ego battles. Smart winners are selective fighters. The harmless strategy also improves information gathering. When you say I'm still learning, people teach more. When you say I already know, people stop explaining. Acting harmless invites deeper explanation. That gives you detail others never hear. Detail is advantage. Advantage compounds. This is one of the core ideas behind the Playing Possum mindset. Reduce perceived threat to increase access. Access to truth. Access to networks. Access to opportunity. Loud ambition often gets filtered out. Quiet curiosity often gets welcomed in. Let's talk about career growth. Many people try to jump levels by showing dominance early. Sometimes it works short term, but it creates hidden resistance. Others grow by becoming useful, reliable, and calm first. They become trusted before they become powerful. Trust is more stable than fear. Power built on trust lasts longer than power built on intimidation. Harmless behavior builds trust faster than aggressive positioning. Another truth, when you look harmless, people test you less aggressively. That gives you adaptation time. You can understand rules, culture, and power lines before heavy pressure arrives. By the time pressure increases, you are ready. Early harmlessness becomes late strength. There is also a creativity advantage. When nobody expects brilliance from you yet, you are free to experiment. No brand to protect, no image to maintain. Creative risk increases. Innovation increases. Many breakthroughs come from people who were not being watched closely. Low attention zones are innovation zones. High attention zones are performance zones. Innovation usually wins before performance does. But harmless must be intentional, not permanent. This is critical. The goal is not to stay invisible forever. The goal is to build quietly and then step forward decisively. There is a reveal moment, a delivery moment, a proof moment. Strategy has phases: hide, build, position, reveal. When problems happen when people hide and never reveal, or reveal without building. Sequence matters. Harmless first, formidable later. Also understand this, harmless does not mean passive. You are active internally, learning, practicing, connecting. Planning, tracking, adjusting. From outside you look calm. Inside you are upgrading. Still water, deep current. Many overnight successes followed this exact pattern. Years of harmless invisibility, then visible dominance. People saw the reveal, not the preparation. Preparation is rarely public. Results are. That gap creates the illusion of sudden victory. It's not sudden, it's hidden. Protection is another advantage. When your plans are quiet, they are harder to attack. When your goals are loud, they attract interference. Early stage goals are fragile. Harmless presentation protects fragile progress. Like roots growing underground before the tree appears. You don't measure root growth by noise, but without roots, the tree falls. Harmlessness grows roots. Let's make this practical so you can use it starting today. In competitive rooms, speak after observing patterns. Let others show their style first. In new environments, ask questions before offering solutions. In early projects, build proof before promotion. Share progress selectively, not emotionally. Let results introduce you, not claims. Track who underestimates you. They are often your easiest future wins. If you've made it this far, you're already thinking differently than most viewers. Most people chase attention. A few build advantage. That difference decides outcomes over time. The harmless path is quieter, but often more powerful. Stay with this mindset and you'll start seeing opportunities others miss because they are too busy being seen. That's what Playing Possum is really about. Intelligent invisibility before intelligent victory. If this message clicked for you, write harmless wins in the comments so I know you watched with intent, not just curiosity. Share this video with someone who keeps trying to look powerful too early. And subscribe to Playing Possum for more deep strategy and psychological advantage, because in many real games, the one who looks harmless the longest ends up winning the most.